Live from the rinks in Hauppauge, New York, we welcome you to this presentation of Stony Brook Seawolves hockey, streaming live on YouTube as we bring you our next chapter of the 2022-2023 Seawolves season as Stony Brook faces off against the NYU Violets in their second of two head-to-head matchups this weekend. Mike Calandra here, ready to bring you the action alongside my partner in crime, as always, Trevor Magnani. I think I got it right this time, Magnani.
There you go. It takes a couple times, but you eventually get it. We're set up for a good one here tonight at the rinks here. The Stony Brook Seawolves coming off a huge road victory last night over at Chelsea Piers. A dominant 11-2 finish. And hopefully for the Seawolves, it's more of the same and not a nap time here at the rinks.
Yeah, definitely. I think the score from last night speaks for how the Seawolves took their road trip losses against Liberty University, and you have a firsthand of knowing that this team, they can be relentless, especially when they get their buttons pushed in the wrong way.
Yeah, needless to say, they did not take it well. You have a team here that went down to Liberty University, played a great first game, very tight game, and then gets blown out in the second one. And you have a Seawolves team that's ready for revenge on whoever is in their path. And unfortunately for NYU, they were the next target.
That tight game you alluded to featured Brandon Avezov collecting 4 goals. And that man is looking to continue his unstoppable trend here on home ice, as yesterday he picked up a pair of goals in enemy territory against NYU. And here's this for a staggering, how about this for a staggering statistic? Avezov, 6 goals in his last 2 games played. Do we see more of that?
I think we will, and that is not a, let's just put it this way, Vegas isn't paying out well on those odds.
Yes, sir, and the referees are getting things set, as in a few moments we will meet the defending ESCHL champion Stony Brook Seawolves making their entrance on home ice. Chris Garofalo there in the picture, as him and his squad try to get back on the right track after leaving to Liberty, falling to Rhode Island in that 2-game series, the second matchup, going home with their first loss, entering Liberty with a record of 8-1. Now they return home with a record of 9-3. Crazy how things change in just a short amount of time. Now you have to wonder, can they get back on that right track? And last night, they definitely made a statement.
And tonight is a league game here in the ESCHL, a new rule for the ESCHL. They got to run a 4-man ref system. So if you notice on the ice, we had four men in stripes tonight making the calls. So that's one of the big changes this year for the ESCHL that I don't know if we've talked about this year, but usually they only run a 3-man system here. A good crowd out here at the rinks in Hauppauge tonight. The Seawolves take the ice here under the flashing lights.
Not to try to steal Chris Garofalo's team's thunder, but Trevor, I have a really important question. Why don't we get that type of entrance? Where's our little strobe lights up here?
We can try. I don't know if these work or not. Yeah, we have some strobing capability.
All right.
It's a little manual, but
yeah. Hey, you got to work with what you're given, and so, but no regrets.
NYU University. On fence, number 4, Jackson Olsen. On fence, number 17, Jane Gordy. Good luck with it. Number 10, Rita Benny-Lockheed. 7, number 19, Adam Tavova. Right winner, number 22, Matt Price. And in goal, the third grade, Chris Mella. And he shows only Steve. On fence, number 77, Wendy Press. Presented partner, number 5, Dean Gallagher. The rider, number 71, Thomas Lebo. Number 21, Nick Charlie. Number 16, Tanya Epstein. And goal, number 1, Scott Brown.
We'll take a break for the national anthem. We'll be back in just a moment with more Seawolves hockey.
The beautiful signs of patriotism showed by the two teams as we are ready to drop the puck on the fourth head-to-head matchup between the Seawolves and the Violets. In goal for the Stony Brook University Seawolves team, Scott Barnico back in between the pipes, looking to pick up another big home victory just as he did 2 weeks ago against University of Rhode Island. Opposite of him and getting jiggy with it in between the pipes, Chris Cataldo. And there's a man who has made his presence felt in a big way against Stony Brook. It's Chris Cataldo. Numerous saves accounted for by number 33 for the Violets.
All right, teams are ready. Let's drop the puck.
Svoboda and Dempsey get things started. Here's Gallagher trying to chip it forward there. And Svoboda coughs it up. Zerilli, who went home with a pair of goals last night, almost gets his licks early as that one goes out of play.
Stony Brook already taking advantage of some early turnovers here in the NYU zone. We'll see if NYU comes up with a bit of a stronger plan tonight.
Dempsey couldn't win it back there as Fess has to knife this one in deep. NYU trying to escape without any damage early in this first period. Everyone coming together in the corner. This one gets nudged out by the Violets.
So it was deflected down, so no icing, and Stony Brook will pick the puck up and break it out with ease.
This one's flipped forward. Thomas Liebold trying to collect it there. He was outraced that time. McDermott's in trouble. Save made. The first one of the night by Barnico. NYU still in the zone. Another chance denied by Barnico. Back-to-back saves to get things going for the Stony Brook netminder Scott Barnico. Liebold got it in front. Couldn't be finished off. Boris at the top. Head saved by Chris Cataldo. If one can do it, I can do it, says Cataldo as he gets in on the saves action. Avezov, ever so dangerous on the ice when the puck is on his stick. 6 goals in 2 games played. And here he comes as Edwards leads the charge back in the zone with a chance, and it's fended off by Cataldo. Alfedo making his first appearance on the ice tonight. There's a chance from the top. Vanderzover, and a save is made by Cataldo, who holds up.
3 shots on goal to the NYU's lonely one to start things off here. 17 minutes left in the first. And the Seawolves engine, it's getting going. It's not at full speed yet, but I think NYU's already looking like they're in a little bit of trouble.
Stony Brook jumping in on the attack and almost converting there as this one gets slapped out of harm's way by the Violets. Icing waved off yet again. Vanderzover will recollect from far. Sends this one forward. Avezov trying to lead in with a chance, and he's canceled out that time. Good job by NYU's Jackson Olesen. Olesen takes aim, save made by Barnico. Olesen still progressing before he got nailed in the boards by Vanderzover. This one gets lofted out. Brandon Avezov breaking free to the goal. Save made by Cataldo. Avezov almost had one there. But NYU able to stand their ground in a big way as this one gets knocked all the way in deep. Stony Brook, as NYU making a line change, enters back in the zone. The Seawolves trying to make some magic happen here as this one gets flipped out. Gallagher and Fest will reset. Cormanek couldn't catch that one, and here comes the Violets trying to center one in front. Stony Brook trying to escape as this one gets played back to the point. Too fast of a feed there as Gallagher is able to swipe this one around the wall, but it's kept alive at the top, and it pinballs off a skate in front before Cormanek is able to send it out, or so I thought, as it got turned over yet again to NYU.
A little bobble there in the neutral zone allows Stony Brook to get a nice clean change there. Oh, it should have been an odd man rush.
Heavy collision in the end boards. That was Regan Warts involved. There's a chance from the top, almost deflected home there by DePalma. Here's a chance ahead for NYU. Lead feed in front. Barnicow able to close the gap, and he got some help along the way from the Stony Brook defense. Now Sean Kendrick looking to make an impact in his first shift of the night. Rainville couldn't touch that one across in time. And this allows NYU with more pressure. John Solovey. Now the captain, Peck, just misfires. Solovey again, going to turn and burn there. NYU. Quick with the possession, another chance nullified, and it's sent wide in front. Peck under control of it. Peck hounded and swarmed by 3 Seawolves in the zone. A good catching play at the top by NYU keeps the possession inside Stony Brook's zone before he gets batted out of harm's way by a tired and exhausted De Palma.
And Stony Brook here putting themselves here in a little bit of trouble here with this icing. That soft dump didn't exactly quite get the result that they wanted. And NYU, fresh set of skaters on the ice here with a golden opportunity to take the lead in this game.
That golden opportunity may come from this face-off draw courtesy of Theo Hembre, the Falmouth, Maine native, standing at 5'10", weighing in at 165. Going up against the veteran Dempsey. And it's over. Now McDermott. Those two play catch. Van de Zilver chips this one ahead, but he can't connect cleanly there that time with Zerilli. Zerilli stays on the hunt. Zerilli couldn't get it over in time, and he glides in the end boards, draws the penalty. So Stony Brook will activate the power play units first.
A bit of a late check there, and that's one that will lead to an early, an easy arm raise from the official.
Here's a Stony Brook, another chance for them, 6-on-5. They may not need the power play if this one doesn't get touched up, but it does. And cross-checking is the call.
It would have been a good hit if the puck was still on his stick, but fortunately it was 1-1,000, 2-1,000, and then the check was made.
Stony Brook on the road against Liberty University picked up 4 power play goals in their first matchup against the Flames last Friday night. They scored 3 on the man advantage, only accounted for 1 in the second matchup last Saturday. They had 5 power play opportunities in that Saturday affair last weekend, which featured an ugly result for the Seawolves as Molfetto and the Seawolves try to make an impact here on this first power play of the night, brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics. Big sauce ahead by Barnaco, but the connection couldn't be made. However, Stony Brook has the possession. William Cormanick back in the zone. Cormanick holding. Cormanick feeds it back to the points. Molfetto. Cormanick. Those two in close quarters. Molfetto sends it across. Stony Brook looking for the finish in front. Kendrick can't swipe it out of the air as this one gets cleared out by the Violets. Dominic Molfetto on the back end. There's Edwards. Edwards with a nice little pirouette move, able to set up McDermott with a chance. Fended off the stick of Cataldo. Half a minute left on the man advantage for Stony Brook. NYU with another big cancellation as Stony Brook is forced all the way back in their zone. McDermott trekking back into enemy territory with a long wraparound play around the wall. But no result found yet. We get another whistle.
Hand pass there. Linesman washed it out and then called the hand pass. A little bit of confusion there. I think certain player thought he was good to play the puck, and then suddenly not.
So it's been a quiet power play thus far for the Seawolves, as they have not been able to get multiple shots on net. Did get one big chance, but as everyone saw, Chris Cataldo came up big as this one gets cleared out by NYU for icing. Fortunately for Stony Brook, no one hot out of the box and on a breakaway there.
That's the big silver lining there. And Stony Brook definitely has been burned by those in the past, and that's where the goaltender comes in. You whack the stick on the ice and hope you get the attention of your team saying, hey, you got somebody flying.
Here's a quick draw, almost resulting in Zarilli jabbing it free. Cataldo was ready for that one.
A hot start for the Seawolves, turning into a bit of a sleeper. Power play waking them up a little bit, but
Swanson, the Connecticut native, nudges this one in the far boards as Van de Zilver tries to hunt it down. NYU with a big push ahead. 2-on-1 chance here. Off the crossbar from Svoboda. The first big scoring opportunity by either of these teams tonight, but none in the back of the nets. That time for NYU's Svoboda. Svoboda still after it as the Stony Brook Seawolves try to make some coverage inside the zone. NYU struggling to get another chance on goal after their biggest one of the night rang off the iron courtesy of Svoboda. Leibold and the Seawolves back in the other zone. And Dempsey fanned on the attempt, put it back out in front. No result found as NYU is able to grab it yet again.
I'd like to see the Seawolves try to slow it down a little bit more in the offensive zone, try to get the cycle going, move the puck around, and try to find a quality opportunity versus just trying to jam one home.
Jackson Olesen, 7 points in 11 games played this year. 5 of those 7 points goals for the NYU Violet defenseman. Here come the Violets back in, and a save made by Barnico to stop play against Huang.
8-6 the shots on goal here as we cross the halfway mark here in the first period. And Stony Brook not really finding anything quality yet. I think everything they've thrown at the net has been fairly pedestrian and easy to maintain.
This one gets swiped wide off the stick of Huang. The Vancouver, British Columbia native trying to charge up the offense here, and he got it back out in front, no one home. Played back down low, Huang almost got it back in front, another chance. Big denial there. I don't know if that was Barnico or if that was just a missed opportunity.
Might have been a missed opportunity there. I didn't see much on the save.
Yeah. Fess and the Seawolves trying to reset calmly. NYU not allowing them to do that. Fess got it ahead. Vezov plays it back. Aiden Gallagher retreating as he couldn't find the lane to bust through ahead. NYU, quick delivery here, and Jesse Edwards steps up big in the neutral zone with the first big hit, and there's the second big hit of the night. Fortunately, both players stay on their feet and absorb the big blows.
And careful there. Midway would have gone after him for the open ice check.
Here's Boris. Boris able to send it ahead, and yet again, Brandon Vezov ran into the heavy body of Regan Warts.
We have a slashing call here. I don't know who it's against. Urbino with confusing signals. It is going to go against NYU, though.
Definitely a confusing situation at first because both teams opened up the penalty box doors. But this will be the second power play of the night for the Seawolves, brought to you by our good friends at Stony Brook Orthopedics. McDermott's tightrope in the blue line as he was able to make a connection there with Golinski. McDermott at the point, stumbling, almost lost his balance there. He had to hurry that one over to Golinski. NYU able to get the clear with the favor coming off the glass. McDermott's looking for a room to bust ahead. Golinski back to Boris. Boris controlling. Feeds it to McDermott. McDermott through traffic and just went wide. Galinsky has McDermott waiting in the shadows, but the results is another clear for NYU.
Cedric not able to find anything quality here on this power play. Hopefully the second unit will be able to mix things up and get a puck to the net.
And yet again, a big interception, and this could be another clear. Yes, it is a quick one by NYU as Stony Brook tries to reset instantly.
NYU is being very disciplined here on this penalty kill here. They're only pushing forward when they think they've got an advantage to do so, and they've been stymieing Stony Brook all the way at the blue line, forcing them to dump and chase. It's not what you want to be doing on the power play.
Half a minute to go now, 25 seconds left on the clock for Stony Brook's 5-on-4. The second one of the period, and another clear made by the Violets.
Some fresh legs out for the Violets as they get ready for the end of this power play.
Back to 5-on-5, Avezov, Malfetto. Van de Zilver escaping. Van de Zilver with a chance, just trickling wide. May have gotten help off a stick in front. As NYU is able to bust ahead. Svoboda back in the zone, making his heavy presence felt, and the save is made by Barnico that time against Vemulapoli.
It's a mouthful.
Vadeep Vemulapoli from Massachusetts, standing at 5'9". On the ice, waiting to strike when the iron is hot. Everyone coming together near the half wall, trying to dig it out of the scrum. It bounces around. NYU almost getting the benefit as we get a whistle blown.
Hand pass. And it looks like we had 3 of the 4 officials on the ice getting that one.
And it's worth noting, 3 of the 4 officials, we have 1 extra man in stripe.
1 extra referee tonight.
1 extra referee tonight, so you have to wonder, is that because to diffuse any of the physical situations?
Well, you wouldn't want referees for that, because referees don't get involved in diffusing scrums. Those are linesmen. They don't get paid enough for their jobs. Referees are the ones calling the penalties, and new rule for the ESCHL is that they want to be running the 4-man system, 2 referees, 2 linesmen, for all league games.
So chance in front, big save off the stick of Barnico. Another opportunity, and this one deflects wide off a stick in front. Stony Brook able to force it out. NYU goes off sides.
And everybody will reset here as we get to the last quarter of this period. Shots 10-8 Stony Brook.
Actually, Trevor, if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 head officials tonight, 2 linesmen.
2 referees, 2 linesmen.
2, okay. See, I learned something every new now and then.
So the ACHA only requires a 3-man system, so you'll see that for the most part here at the rinks.
Kormnick almost flipping it towards the net as he was being swarmed and swallowed up by all of the NYU players who are trying to dig it out of the M boards.
I don't know how we didn't get anything called there or there.
Referees allowing the boys to play on as this one is waved off, icing waved off, leading to Fess making the cover up out down low in the zone. Fess taking the task along the half wall. NYU trying to settle things down. Stony Brook not allowing that to happen. NYU looking to reset quickly. Stony Brook, 1 reinforcement brought onto the ice for Boris. It's DePalma. DePalma awaiting in the shadows to get a hold of the possession as this one gets spiked in front, but it got deflected off a leg there. And this one almost connected for DePalma.
Yeah, he connected just to the wrong part of the stick.
Boris Gallagher. And yet again, Stony Brook chasing instead of being out in front of the possession. And now they got their chance almost there for Rainville.
It's been a very strange game. I was expecting at least one puck to be in the net by now, but as we get underneath 3 minutes here, it's this game is proving to be a lot tighter than we expected.
McDermott and the Cavalry back in the zone as that one gets fired wide. Back down low, Rainville trying to put it back out in front, and it got negated by the hard-charging Theo Hembre. Hembre crisscrossing, and he ran into Sean Kendrick, who was slow to the bench. Hembre denied there by Barnico as Kendrick really shaken up. He has not gotten fully on to the bench. Now he does get onto the bench, and he'll be attended to by the team doctor. Lead feet ahead is going to go for icing. No one able to beat the puck there.
And that's going to bring us down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds here in the first. Fresh legs out for the Violets here. Another good opportunity here. Offensive zone face-off against the somewhat tired Seawolf line.
So Jesse Edwards. Is that Connor Dempsey on the... No, it is Edwards, so I was correct there. Edwards. This one gets played across. Devin Pepe. Here's Avezov. Back in the zone, but he can't navigate his way through pressure. Almost a mishandle there by Svoboda, but he was able to push it forward, and here comes NYU with more pressure on the Seawolves. And there's the first penalty of the night committed by Stony Brook.
A bit of a Broadway show there as the NYU player kind of took hold of that stick, just kind of leaned on it, and make sure to get the penalty drawn there.
Definitely got to do what you got to do in order.
Oh yeah, there's no shame in it. You got you got to make sure the ref sees it, especially after they miss the two down in the corner. You want to make sure they're seeing the infraction.
So give credit to him for pulling off the strategy right there.
That's not to say he was doing something something foul. It's something that may be necessary with this crew tonight.
Fair enough. So really in the Seawolves looking to kill off this first power play by NYU as we close in on the final minute of play in the first. Jesse Edwards in the box. He'll sit for the next minute and a half. That's if NYU doesn't convert before the period expires. Svoboda. Lead feet ahead. Almost finished beautifully there by Onre. Almost finished beautifully by Orne, or Orn in this case. James Orn from Camden, Maine. Adam Peck almost coming up with the possession there. There's Joshua Stitch in the zone. Stitch. NYU trying to make an impact here in the final minute of play. Bryce just misses that as Peck deals it back to Bryce. Score! NYU strikes first on Long Island.
A couple Seawolves kind of hitting the ice there. I don't know if they were tripped or not, but that definitely had a lot to do with the lack of coverage in front of the net there. It was his poor positioning.
A tough pill to swallow for the Seawolves as Mac Bryce, who entered this contest with a team-high 6 goals, collects his 7th of the year. Big one on the power play as the enemy goes to the point first. A different scene than what the Seawolves experienced on the road in Chelsea Piers last night, in which they practically owned NYU. This one bounces off a stick in front. Boris recovering This one couldn't be cleared out. Drive from the top, almost deflected home in front. Stony Brook with aggressive coverage inside the zone as NYU begins to get physical once more. Cormac.
This is the energized NYU team.
Galinsky charging hard to the net as Cormac got knocked down, and that'll do it for the first. After 20 minutes of play, NYU leads 1-0. First impressions on the period that we just witnessed, Mr. Megnani.
Slow, very slow. Stony Brook started off with a little bit of speed, tapered off. They got nothing on any of their power plays, and it almost feels like that dragged the team down to an even lower level. And towards the end of the period here, they take that penalty. The penalty kill just didn't look sharp. They were all over the ice and kind of falling, and that's what kind of led to the goal.
See,
Lack of coverage.
Sorry to interject
good.
right there, but the one thing I felt concerned about with the what you alluded to right there, it was, first period of play seemed very, very slow. Stony Brook just doesn't look like themselves. My concern is the fact they used up all of that aggressive energy in last night's blowout win over NYU. I mean, they scored 11 goals, absolutely made a statement, and now you're going back on the home ice. There is probably feeling of whether they worn themselves out or if the pressure of living up to that and replicating that same performance was going to get to them.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a pressure thing. This is a Seawolves team that knows that they can beat NYU any day of the week. Except right now, they're in a nightmare situation where they're losing to the NYU team that they can beat any day of the week.
So we'll just have to. Sorry,
I bet you're going to hear a lot of things in the Stony Brook locker room. Probably calm but firm words. A lot of wake up. You're in a hockey game, and if you're in the NYU locker room, probably a lot of keep up the good work, keep the pace of the game under your control. Don't let Stony Brook dictate the pace. And if you're Stony Brook, you have the legs to blow this game out. You just got to get them going. So hopefully in the second period here, the Seawolves can get those legs going and start increasing the pace of play and start driving the momentum of this game versus letting it being driven to them.
Wake up is quite the words of affirmation. If I could take a guess, it's probably more than just wake up from head coach Chris Garofalo that we will not try to dive into.
Listen, what happens
when we go to break?
What happens down there is what's happening down there, and it might be the players themselves. The captains are going to be stepping up and saying, "Guys, we're in a hockey game. This isn't Sunday public session here. That's tomorrow."
We'll just have to see what the second period has in store for the Seawolves. We'll be right back after this intermission. And we are back just about half a minute from the second period from getting started as the Seawolves trail by 1 after a late period power play goal from NYU's Mac Bryce. Fortunately for the Seawolves, they outshot NYU by 1 goal, leading 13-12 heading into the second period. And another thing that I was able to just ponder on, and we left the break heading into the intermission. One of the things we emphasized on was this Stony Brook team looks totally different, totally abnormal compared to what this team played like last night. And talking with a good buddy of mine on the other side over on these 2 rinks and stuff, he, a travel hockey player, mentioned that, because he's experienced being on the high side of big victories like that, and then it's the next game where they kind of just relax. They just take it slow, and ironically, you're giving your opponent a better chance of catching you off guard, which
absolutely.
I think it's just, to me, you should never underestimate your opponent. You should always be ready. You should always treat it like it's a championship game.
As somebody who's played up the travel hockey ranks myself, and you got the home and home series, you have the dreaded blowout game where you think you have this team's number and you've done everything you can, and you don't know what's going on the other side of that locker room. Maybe they had 2 players out that night that really energized the lineup, or goaltender in that's the 3rd stringer. A lot of things could be going in play here, and you just don't know exactly what you're going up against.
Well, I know for a fact Stony Brook is definitely not going up against NYU's 3rd stringer, because that is Chris Cataldo, who has just been absolutely stupendous in goal in each of these head-to-head matchups against the Seawolves. And Stony Brook going to have to make a big impact here in these next 20 minutes.
Well, looks like we have some repairs going down on the SBU netminder's crease here. Trying to patch a divot, it looks like.
If I had a nickel for every time I created a divot when I was playing golf with my friends, I'd be a rich man.
I think you'd also be kicked out of many a country club.
We'll save those stories for another time. Second period underway. Zerilli feeding this one all the way over to the other side, as that was Liebel taking the task heavily as Dempsey tries to kick it free, and now we get another power play that's about to be started by the Seawolves.
Yeah, obvious tripping there. You put the stick in front of the skates on fresh ice, and it's very easy to lose your balance. So that's an easy tripping call there from the officiating crew. And Stony Brook, 3rd chance here, maybe 3rd time lucky.
Hey, they say 3 is the magic number.
3 is also a terrible number sometimes, but we don't have a 3-goal lead yet, so we're not going to talk about it.
All right, 3rd power play of the night, brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics, and it comes at the expense of Jackson Olison's tripping infraction. Mac Bryce, shorthanded chance here for NYU, as this one ricochets out of play.
Wisely ricocheted up there by the netminder. Just stop this play right in its tracks, get a face-off. Try to pick the pieces up here and maybe try to spring a player off the face-off.
Conlon on the ice. And a little sparring match there off the draw with Bryce. Kormanek able to deal with a Pepe, almost connecting with Conlon, who's got to chase it down. Nice play there by Conlon in the corner. Avezov gets it back from Malfetto. Those 2 play catch. Avezov curls away from the pressure. Malfetto has it again. Rapid, quick puck movement here by the Seawolves, and a big block made there that time by NYU's Regan Wartz.
Vezov there thought he saw an open lane there, but it was expertly blocked.
Burns. Vezov. Here's Boris. Spencer Boris. Save made by Cataldo.
Much better puck movement there on the second chance there. Although Stony Brook is being very much kept to the outside. NYU is not taking the bait.
Saw that quick shorthanded chance right before from Mac Bryce, almost picking up his second goal of the game. So definitely NYU not buying the bait one bit. Stony Brook was able to get a shot off there, but Cataldo yet again with the denial before NYU makes another clear. Oh, and McDermott, the second time in this contest where he almost loses an edge.
McDermott there definitely being a little more, a little careful here as he turns the puck up the ice.
Boris trying to create an opportunity here for the Seawolves. Rainville beats it back to the point. McDermott. Rainville deals it over back to Edwards. Edwards. McDermott. 5-on-5 hockey once again. This one gets chipped down low. Jesse Edwards unloads with a big body check in the corner. And ailing in pain is Brandon Wilkie. So the physicality starting to ramp up here. This is the part where the Seawolves got to be careful. You don't want to lose your composure and go too overboard with the hits.
Oh, and that's an easy one.
And yet again, Brandon Wilkie on the receiving end of another physical element in this latest shift.
And Edwards there is going to...
Is it Edwards? Well, it's
Alfredo. They're calling.
No, or what? They don't know who. They don't know who it is.
Are they...
Well, we do know there's going to be a penalty against Stony Brook. And by all indications, it looks like...
I don't know why. They're calling the wrong guy. Stony Brook's being honest here. It's like, no, it was me. I did it.
Cue the Jeopardy music, because this seems to be a tough puzzle to solve.
No, I like. This is more appropriate. Although we can't get too far into this track, otherwise we get into trouble.
Exactly.
Right man in the box, though.
So no matter what, it was always going to be a Stony Brook penalty, regardless of which player ended up going to the box. And Jesse Edwards, just after exiting the penalty box before, commits his second penalty of the night, just moments after he laid the big check on Brandon Wilkie, which was clean back in the other end. Here's NYU working another chance, and they score.
2 power play goals. And Coach Garofalo here on the Seawolves here looking for some answers here, and I don't know if he's going to find him. Looking up and down right now.
The NYU Violets double down on the Seawolves, going 2 for 2 on the man advantage as Vadeep Vemulapalli joins the goal-scoring party here on Long Island.
The Seawolves here out with the jump here.
Kormanek nailed to the ice that time. Conlon gets it over. Gallagher through traffic, sent wide. Conlon being tugged there by Bryce. NYU causes a turnover as they couldn't escape out of the zone with the possession. Gallagher trying to lean on NYU's players to make something happen. One player lost their stick in the process, and that was Svoboda, who's in a tussle with no other than William Kormanek, who retrieves his stick behind the play. Back ahead, NYU coughing it up, and here comes Avezov right back in. Brandon Avezov going one-on-one with his offensive counterpart, Svoboda. Those two leading their teams respectively in the goal-scoring categories.
A much faster shift here and a good response from the Seawolves, but NYU is still not letting them get any good shots on goal.
Or pardon me, points-getting categories. Svoboda with 15 points, and there's McDermott just sending one wide, and Stony Brook in close quarters with each other, trying to make something happen here in the second as they trail by 2. McDermott swipes this one down low. Avezov smashed into the glass there, no call. There's another chance. Theo Hembre across. That time it's swallowed up by a bunch of sticks in front. But NYU remains close to the goal as Stony Brook tries to deal this one out of harm's way. The captain, Pepe, finds Avezov. Avezov, Pepe just wide. McDermott spins it across. Avezov curls in and almost finishes beautifully on the forehand. And he took Hembre's stick with him. McDermott with the keep at the point. McDermott couldn't get that one to go. Rebound, Pepe. Same results. Stony Brook not able to execute. Big glove save in the other end by Scott Barnico.
That's a big one there. Keeps this one at 2, and for Stony Brook, this is, I'm a bit flabbergasted and unable to come up with words to describe what I'm seeing. Complacency is one of them.
That is definitely for sure. Drive from the point, deflected on in front, but nowhere was the puck found to be in the back of the net. Another chance, almost deflected on again as De Palma and the Seawolves run wild the other way. Kendrick, glove save, rebound, double denials, beautifully by Chris Cataldo. One with the glove and the other with the left pad.
Oh, and that's a big shot to the head there, uncalled.
NYU making their heavy presence felt once again inside the Seawolf zone.
And the easiest 5-minute major call of this referee's career has just been made.
There might be more than 5 minutes here as everyone comes together in the end boards. An exasperated Chris Garofalo.
See you later, man. Enjoy your early shower on that one.
And I mean exasperated Chris Garofalo, because he is being currently held back from jumping over the boards and protecting his team. Because as you mentioned, that was not clean by any means.
It's about as textbook as it gets. The guy's got his back to you. You then cross-check him into the wall. The fact that this is 2 minutes is incredible.
Davin Van de Zilver bowled over in pain as he gets...
Especially since the player was hurt on the play. And while we're not allowed to use the player's injury as a means of calling the penalty, the fact that it was from behind, the player had to actively make that check, should have been enough.
So regardless of it not being a major penalty, the Seawolves do get rewarded with their 4th power play of the night, and it's brought to you by, yet again, Stony Brook Orthopedics. Malfetto almost answering back with his hit of his own. He gets taken to task yet again by Solovi. So the emotions are starting to rise ever so slightly. Big chance. Result couldn't be scored there by Avezov, who keeps on going. Another mighty pad stop by Chris Cataldo.
Avezov has been absolutely stymied tonight.
Stony Brook trying to switch gears here. They remain on the power play. Svoboda couldn't dance his way past Avezov. Now Edwards gaining the zone. Galinsky in the trailer. Edwards trying to deal it to someone open. He's going to go on an adventure back to the point. Boris from the top. Deflection in front. Nowhere to be found was the puck in the back of the net, though. McDermott off the boards. Avezov. Those two play catch. Here's McDermott. Avezov. Boris. Being guarded there by Svoboda. Stitch. Couldn't clear this one out off the wall. This is about to be 5-on-5 hockey all over again. And there's a chance that just misconnects for Avezov and Edwards. Adam Peck hot off the bench. Boris trying to knife it forward. In comes Zerilli. Zerilli trying to continue his goal-scoring ways here on Saturday night. Boris from the top, blocked in front. May have been friendly fire there. One player knocked down in front of the net by one of the NYU players. It was Stitch against Liebold. Liebold almost getting the steal there as Adam Peck makes his way back into enemy territory. Peck almost connecting across with his open man. NYU. Aiden Gallagher aggressively pursuing Olesen. Olesen trying to put everyone in the rinse cycle. Look at Olesen go.
You gotta be careful with moving the puck like that. You can lead yourself into an odd man rush very easily.
This one gets turned over. Now the Seawolves take off the other way. Back in the zone. Dempsey. Liebold, save made, rebound. Mad scramble in front. No big result there for the Seawolves. Just a little under 10 minutes remaining in the second. Brendan Fess almost got it ahead. NYU trying to escape out of the zone. Here comes Kormanek hot off the bench as Fess moves in along the half wall to try to keep it in the zone. It ricochets off the boards and it goes out of the zone. Stony Brook recollecting. NYU dumping this one off the wall, and this should go for icing, and it does.
Stony Brook with a lot of shots on goal and nothing of record to show for it. 23-17 they lead. We are a little past the halfway mark, 9:10 to go in the second.
Conlon back on the ice. They'll look to try to win it back to either Swanson or Molfetto. We know Molfetto is one with a cannon in his arsenal. When it's cocked and loaded, it really causes damage for sure. We've seen it firsthand many times last season as Molfetto awaits for the possession in the shadows. Conlon couldn't deal this one back in time inside the zone, and Molfetto has to chase back and recollect. NYU in a line change. Another chance for NYU, and they're going to draw another penalty.
And that'll be the third of the day for Stony Brook.
Tripping, 2 minutes. And once again, it's Jesse Edwards who will take the trip to the sin bin. His third penalty of the night.
It's not his night. And that one I don't want to really say it was a bad penalty. You're trying to play defense to get the trip. It's one of those not necessary ones, but one you're not going to overanalyze at the end of the day.
Now we'll see how quick NYU, or if they deliver real quick, as they did the last 2 power plays. This one gets forced out by the Seawolves. So there's one clear by Stony Brook's penalty kill units. They try to create some havoc.
Successfully do.
That was done by Connor Dempsey. Here comes NYU. Peck. Got it ahead. Almost finished off in their scrum right there. As Stony Brook were able to get another clear. Wilkie is on the ice. He's been involved in a lot of physical situations so far in this contest. Now we'll see if he delivers something for NYU on the offense. There's a chance deflected on in front, but it couldn't be finished off. It's cleared out by the Seawolves.
It's a classic rink special clear there. You hit the odd part of the glass and it careens in an opposite direction.
Ahead comes Svoboda. Past Gallagher. Just sending the chance wide as Stony Brook will look to try to survive these final 25 seconds on the penalty kill. Conlon tangled up with one of the NYU players. That was Mac Bryce in front of the bench as NYU down to their final 5 seconds on the power play. They will not go perfect on the man advantage tonight. 2 for 3.
Still not a bad stat.
Not at all. Big chance in front. Another opportunity swallowed up. And here come the Seawolves looking to break out the other way. Back in they come. Boris tried to drop it to Pepe in the trailer as those two were crisscrossing positions. Bryce looking for Stitch. Bryce hounded there by McDermott. As Pepe lofts this one ahead. Brandon Avezov turns up the Jets. Denied by Cataldo. NYU can't clear it out. Another opportunity for the Seawolves. They try to get close to the goal yet again. Avezov spins this one just off the body in front. May have been pushed aside by Cataldo. Avezov still on the hunt as he takes aim at Joshua Stitch. Conlon's chance, or pardon me, Boris, that chance was blocked. That was Bryce who was slow and shaken up. And he's probably the last one that wants the possession right now. He's looking to get off the ice.
That was not a heads-up play by NYU. Kudos to the Seawolves players for not just laying him out.
Peck trying to bounce it forward as NYU gets it back. Oh! Thomas Liebold with a heavy elbow, and we'll see if this results in a major.
Probably not.
By the looks of it,
that was a shoulder. Let's be honest.
That might be the case.
Take a look at it here. He comes in with the shoulder. The referee was in no position to see that. If I can recall, this is he's got the puck. Come on, man.
I can understand why the penalty was called, though. The head contact was there.
There wasn't head contact.
It wasn't.
That was shoulder to shoulder.
Huh.
Like,
interesting.
That's about as clean of a hit as you can come up with.
Wow. Even I'm flabbergasted.
That's why I said the referee's in no position to make that call. You look back at the video, his shoulder, yeah, the arm follows through, but that's just physics.
Big chance in front, just wide off the stick of Orn. Svoboda trying to locate the puck down low as Stony Brook can't come up with the clear. Big save at the top by Orn, and look at Mac Bryce with the moves as this chance trickles wide off a stick in front. Stony Brook able to get help off the glass with the clear.
Right at the tippy top of the glass there.
Back in comes Olesen. Olesen forced into the boards. Malfetto. Everyone trying to clear this one out of the zone. Van de Zilver can poke it out. Svoboda gets it back to the point. Olesen over to Svoboda. Svoboda. Bryce. Olesen. Olesen curl and drag attempt negated by a sliding Connor Dempsey, who went practically tobogganing there to deny that chance.
Almost like a soccer slide tackle.
Coincidentally, the World Cup is 2 weeks away. Conlon looked like he was going to go for the big check. Instead, Olesen.
And he's being held against the wall, and he's just.
Well, they got him. They got him. They got him. I think they got him. Yeah. Holding is the call.
The cheers from the Stony Brook crowd. Almost ironic cheers.
The old, right?
The old Bronx cheer.
Yeah, the old Bronx cheer. Gotta love these fans.
A lot of them know how it is, and that's what's great about a lot of the Stony Brook hockey fans is they know what they're dealing with.
There's Conlon on the draw. And once these last few seconds wind down on Leibold's penalty, this will become the 5th power play of the night for the Seawolves, brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics. Olesen in the box for holding. Kormanek and the Seawolves trying to get on the board here. Avezov. Chance from deep, and it got blocked in front. Avezov at the point, flips it on over. Conlon backpedaling. Wilkie without his stick. Another big block there. Peck tangled up, or that was Wilkie tangled up. Wilkie still without a stick.
Stony Brook has managed
there are 2 players without his sticks. This is crazy.
And the fact that Stony Brook moved the sticks out of the way, too, was equally the most gamesmanship and illegal thing they've done.
Spencer Boris able to deal it back, but the connection not made inside the zone between him and Edwards. Jesse Edwards looking to turn and burn.
3 5-on-3 here as a NYU player changing.
Oh, Edwards almost ran into an obstacle there as this one just misses for Boris. Boris, another chance. Edwards, players crowding in front of the crease.
All right, we're going to watch this one out here. No change here on the NYU side as NYU knocked the net off. The last chance opportunity here on the power play for the Seawolves here with 34 seconds. They're going to get a face-off here on the left-hand side of the zone.
A big face-off indeed as the head official brings back the stick that was lost.
Cleaning up the yard sale.
Malfetto gets it at the point, deals it over. McDermott tried to connect in close quarters with his option as Malfetto gets it again. Gawinski moving in tight. Couldn't finish strong there. Conlon back in front. Gawinski denied again. Multiple chances. Score! The Seawolves finally get one to go.
And how did that even go? They just jammed and jammed and jammed, and finally the hard work pays off. And it's a power play goal.
I know our good friends at Stony Brook Orthopedics are
That's right.
jumping up and down.
That's not only a power play goal, it's a Stony Brook Orthopedics Associates power play goal.
Pure elation for Michael Gawinski. I don't know if elation is the right word, or if, what would be the...
I think relief.
Yes. Pure relief for Michael Gawinski,
The first one's always the toughest.
who scored Stony Brook's only goal last Saturday night in the road beating they took against Liberty 7-1. Here's a chance. Brandon Avezov looking to make it back-to-back. Curl and drag maneuver, and he's tripped up to the end boards. And back to the power play go the Seawolves.
He was unabated to the net. That should be a penalty shot.
And we know for sure if Brandon Avezov was awarded with a penalty shot,
Not just to giving the Seawolves a goal.
I mean, against maybe any other goalie in the division, for sure a goal. But the way Chris Cataldo is playing,
That's true. I don't
the
want to
way
write
Chris
that off.
Cataldo is playing, it's hard to really say it's a guarantee that Avezov, if that was the case, he would score on a penalty shot. But nevertheless, Stony Brook awarded with their second power play in mere minutes. Their sixth of the night.
A little bit of confusion here from the officiating crew.
What does this one have in store? As this one couldn't get lofted out by NYU. They do sauce it out. So we've reached the final 20 seconds of play in a different and more lively second period. NYU trying to come up with the late clear here, and they do. Wilkie ran into there by Boris. Watch out. Boris and Wilkie having a little gentleman's disagreement. And this should do it for the period.
That it will, and the goal aside, and Stony Brook with a little bit of momentum here going into the third, and NYU finally catching some penalty trouble. But it's going to be up to Stony Brook whether or not they can stay out of the box themselves and convert on this power play here early on in the third period.
Well, Trevor, we definitely saw a different theme in this second period compared to the first period. And what did you like about the change in scenery for the Seawolves?
It took them to get scored on a second time, but they finally woke up and realized, wait a minute, I'm wearing a Seawolves jersey. We're a good team. We can skate. And immediately you saw that shift afterwards. There was just more energy on the ice. And if the Seawolves want a chance at winning this game, they got to take that feeling into the third period right away. And they got a power play to start, and they have all the tools they need. They're a well-conditioned team. They have good goaltending behind them. They're home. They just gotta put the pieces together.
In this third period, it's going to be a test unlike any other because there's going to be plenty of time on the board. You know NYU, they're going to be coming into that period feeling vengeful. But how is Stony Brook? What are you going to do if you're Chris Garofalo to mitigate this possible NYU resurgence?
You're just telling your team, keep your head on a swivel, no stupid penalties, and play your game. And by your game, I mean play a game that's fast, crisp passing and creative with shots. Not take the first shot. That might be blocked. Find a clean path.
Great point, Trevor, and we'll just have to wait and see if Stony Brook can provide and create some of that long-lost magic that we have been accustomed to for all these weeks. Third period around the corner. See you everyone again soon. The Seawolves return to the ice. And now we await the NYU Violets to make their entrance before this third period gets underway. And here they are, led by their ever so heroic goaltender, Chris Cataldo, who has stopped every Seawolves shot except one. And
well, that puts them at a 28 out of 29, almost around 30, but
it was a big one for sure, as the Seawolves finally able to prevail after numerous shots on goal and a lot of power play minutes.
And speaking of power play minutes, as we get close to the start of the third period, the Seawolves will still be on the power play for another minute 28.
That power play is brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics.
Now, linesmen doing the ready checks so we can get this third period underway. Intermission clock continues to tick down, and we're going to finally reset that back and get ourselves underway here.
Here we go. Both teams with stick taps to signal what should be an exhilarating finish in these next 20 minutes or so. This one gets flipped in deep as Stony Brook tries to convert big on this sixth man advantage of the night, and a big slapper to make the clear there.
Slight miscommunication there on the breakout here for the Seawolves. They're going to carry this straight through the neutral zone.
I mean, that thing had zip on it as Boris tries to zip right in, and he almost got collided there. He almost collided there with Wilkie. Big play there by Bryce, and he's able to clear it further down the ice.
Got caught up there on the linesman, but no fouls. That one ended up getting knocked all the way down anyway.
Adam Peck trying to cover up some ground here. The Seawolves close in for a big chance. Final 25 seconds of power play time for Stony Brook. 1 for 5 tonight on the man advantage. This one gets airmailed over the net. Stony Brook able to make the keep.
I'll reeve it up here now.
This one gets pushed ahead. Here comes Boboda with Stitch. Stony Brook able to prevail there. They try to reset cleanly. Malfetto lost it to Peck. 2-on-1 chance for NYU. Peck, save made by Barnico. Play stops.
Barnico with a big save there. Stops play. Fox's 19th save of the evening as well.
Quick draw, and then we're going to do it again.
Referee's not liking what they saw there.
Theo Embray. Now Weibold storming in. Almost got it across the Zerillion. Back in time to make the cancellation. Brian Zaffino. Haven't heard a lot about him tonight. Malfetto from the top. This one ricochets off the body and it goes into the corner. NYU picks it up. He couldn't deal it ahead. Malfetto sends it right back in.
Seawolves offside, they have to touch up.
So Stony Brook tonight unsuccessful on 5 power plays. Able to get 1 to go in the back of the net. So 1 for 6 tonight. Heavy collision in the end boards. involving Stitch and Liebold, or yes, that was Liebold. NYU able to flip this one out. Cirilli plays it off the boards.
That's going to be too many men on the ice here. Uncalled.
Crucial moment there. Brandon Vezov took out Stitch inadvertently, trying to get past him. And here's another chance for NYU the other way. Big stick play there made, and it was Brendan Fess making the impact as this chance makes an impact over the net. And then there's an impact made on behind the play there by Dominic Malfetto. Avezov, wrap around, chance in the net.
Goaltender lost his gloves, so
it wasn't the usual net off its moorings. It was more
no,
so the goalie lost everything.
The net went off too, so don't worry.
It did. Okay.
You're not escaping that one. However, that will bring him up to 30 saves on the evening as Seals clocked their 31st shot on goal.
So Stony Brook ready to take the draw yet again after an eventful shift just a few moments ago in which NYU almost capitalized. But luckily, Brendan Fess playing hero on the back end. Avezov, Gallagher trying to knife it forward and gives Cataldo a little snow shower there.
A little bit of mind games happening for the Seals now as they seek to find any advantage they can get. And if a referee's not looking, they're going to take advantage.
You know better than I do with that.
That's where the street justice comes in.
Kormanick in front, and he'll draw the penalty in the process just as he was about to deal the pass across, and tripping is the signal.
And that's one of the rare situations where you've got the back official there in the great spot to make the call. Because if you're in the corner there, over by where that purple ad is on the ad board,
yeah,
you're not able to see that trip. But from the neutral zone, you have a great shot at it.
Oh, of course. And this, of course, will be another power play brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics. The 7th of the night. They are one away from matching the number they had in their first head-to-head matchup this season against Liberty last Friday, in which Stony Brook was successful 3 times in that game, in which they fell to the Flames in a close finish by a final of 6-5. That game featured a 4-goal rampage by Brandon Avezov, and he's on the ice for this latest power play. So I thought. That was actually Conlon on the ice, number 38, not number 26. Pepe in front, Dempsey denied, rebound, lost in the scramble, and Chris Cataldo may have recovered magnificently there. Everyone.
Brilliant there. Puck definitely was covered there by an NYU player, but shuttled along before anybody could see it.
Another chance near the top. Malfetto just wide as Wilkie fell to the ice. Quick line changes here for both squads. NYU calling the line changes. Malfetto let the trigger go, and NYU coming up with the clear. Golinsky. Now Pepe makes his way back in the zone. Pepe in close quarters with Edwards. Saucing that one over to Boris. Spencer Boris, save made, rebound. Cataldo swallows it up. No goal there against NYU for Boris, just as he did back in September or October of earlier this last month.
Vezov takes his leave on the ice now.
Here's
fresh legs for the Seals.
And Boris lets the shot go off the leg in front. Another chance, another denial off the right leg of Cataldo.
A good night for the stat sheet tonight for him.
one of their head-to-head matchups last season, Cataldo accounted for 50 saves against the Seawolves, but would go home with the L. Boris. Here tonight is a different scenery for him and his team. Bryce. Hembre. NYU looking for the finish in front. That one got blocked. Here comes Edwards. Taking off, back in the zone. Jesse Edwards off the glove of Cataldo. Another save allotted for number 33 of NYU.
This one poked loose.
Olesen escaping, looking for an option to deal it ahead. Doesn't find it. Olesen and offsides.
Clock's slowly becoming an enemy of the Seawolves here as we get down to 13-19 to go in the period. Plenty of shots for the Seawolves, but they still have not found the twine yet this period.
Mac Bryce back on the ice. Or, no, again, that's Theo Hembre, number 2. Mac Bryce wears 22 double deuces, and he's got 1 goal tonight. The first of 2 for NYU. Everyone coming together near the half wall. Near the half wall, NYU trying to bust in, but it's Kendrick who's able to flip it back ahead.
That's a high stick, and that'll get blown off.
So that's covered up by Cataldo, and a welcome back to Sean Kendrick, who has been absent for quite a while since that collision at center ice back in the first period.
We did see the Seawolves trainer just come back from the NYU bench.
And she, as always, does an admirable job at not only attending to the Seawolves, but also to the away teams and their players that take part in these matchups on Long Island. Nice feed in front. Connection couldn't be made there for NYU as Conlon kicks it back ahead, but it's intercepted. Stitch. NYU coming back in. Hembre couldn't roar past the defense that time. Stony Brook with another chance as Devin Pepe got sandwiched there, able to absorb the blow as NYU tries to reset cleanly. This one skitters off a leg and goes all the way down to the other end for icing.
That was an interesting kick to break out of the zone there. Surprised there wasn't a hooking call there or anything. But the referee's clearly not wanting to put themselves in a position to be the outcome of this one.
Head coach Chris Garofalo watching from afar as his team tries to knot things up here in the third. Off the draw, and it gets cleared down the other end by NYU. No icing here this time. Out. Everyone taking cover there.
That one hopped into the scorekeeper's box.
Had that gone into NYU's penalty box, it would have been a save registered for either Ryan Flagg or Daniel Olnatsky. Little bit of fun there. It's those two. Watch as Cataldo.
That was a strange interaction there.
Stays in goal. Where he's made some huge stops throughout this game tonight. Boris from Cormanick just let it go wide. So really back to the point. Chance from the top. This one couldn't go. Stony Brook, another chance for them as Cormanick couldn't spin it free. Cormanick has it again, trying to twist it back in front. One player got knocked down, takes a shot in front of the net. That was Edwards. Boris keeps it at the point and then lost it to NYU. Back in they come. Thomas Wang Can't crisscross past McDermott that time. And Stony Brook is able to force it out. Joshua Stitch throws it back in deep around the boards. Hot off the bench, Adam Peck couldn't take a hold of the possession as McDermott's heavy presence came in. Save made, rebound. Chris Cataldo was stunned.
Off the post.
The second shot off the iron after Chris Cataldo made the initial stop, but was stunned in the process.
I thought he had control of the puck, but it was right out in front of him.
That was literally Super Mario Strikers in real life. The goalie got stunned, and the puck was loose for a second there for Stony Brook to get another opportunity, and that opportunity was Zerilli, which hit off the post.
NYU holding this one really strong against the boards here.
Zerilli almost getting it over to Rainville, who couldn't stash it home.
Zerilli just had his legs opened up by his stick.
Everyone going into the meat grinder tonight, it seems like. Everyone's being put in the gauntlet tonight for sure. I think that's the better analogy. NYU.
A little frustration and miscommunication there.
Here comes Mac Bryce. Bryce busting his way back towards the goal. He can't finish strong there as he was guarded heavily by Aiden Gallagher. And here comes Stony Brook. Couldn't forge ahead there. Here comes Svoboda with Bryce the other way. Bryce fires, save made, rebound. Barnacle stunned. And NYU scores to make it 3-1.
And stunned is the exact words here of the Stony Brook bench right now, as a turnover, a late change, and a rebound that should have been swept away lead to an NYU goal.
The Violets jump ahead by 2 once again after Stony Brook cut the deficit late in the second period, and just like that, there's a heavy check thrown in the end boards. Back in come the Seawolves the other way, trying to bring back the noise that was once there entering this third period, as right now it's equally comparable to a morgue. Too harsh? Maybe.
That might be the most accurate statement, though, as the Seawolves fans have been silenced now by a third goal here from NYU.
Boris back to recollect, and Stony Brook brings out new reinforcements once again into this contest. This long throw in by Boris as Galinsky couldn't get a hold of the possession, and this one gets sent all the way down for icing. And there it is.
It's hard to analyze this one tonight, as Stony Brook is, every goal here almost seems like they kind of left their foot off the accelerator a little too long, and NYU stepped on the gas, and they found the opportunities.
Those opportunities were cashed in big ways for them. Peck trying to embark back into familiar territory with Bryce in tow. This one gets chipped off the boards. Galinsky has it. There's McDermott. Got ran into by Bryce there. Chance just wide off the stick of Galinsky as Boris tried to pinch in there to make the keep in the zone. This one gets fanned on by Conway, but he recovers. He sends it deep in off the boards. Bezov not able to get there first.
Stony Brook not even putting a heavy forecheck on here. Instead, letting NYU come to them.
Nudged all the way down along the wall. No icing, I should say. Everyone breaking in to get a hold of the possession. NYU making their presence felt inside the Seawolves zone yet again before Stony Brook charges up the other way. Pepe trying to lead Gallagher ahead, but it got stopped by NYU. Gallagher. Brendan Fess. Two heavy giants on the back ends for Stony Brook. Avezov, a giant in his goal-scoring ways. Trying to make a late-game impact here. It doesn't happen there as this one. It's swiped along the boards, and now we have trouble for one of the NYU players as he was slow getting to the bench.
O-line change here for the Seawolves.
Save made by Cataldo, and I have no idea what happened inside the zone and what caused that of James Orn to be hurt there. But fortunately for him, he was able to get up under his own power, and now Stony Brook looking to execute on this latest draw, and this is going to result in a redo.
The funny part is, NYU knew that was icing, they immediately stopped skating.
Some big names not in action for the Seawolves tonight, two being Andrew Mancini on the defense and the ever so dangerous Gregory Barnich for the offense. And has played a big role here as Mac Bryce has played a big role there and everywhere practically for NYU as another save is made by Cataldo.
Now, do we know if last night's game was an ESCHL league match or? I don't think it was. So I think they played, this is the second home and home.
Okay.
I think they split the league games up.
Huh. Interesting. Right now, for Stony Brook, it's a much needed time for them to try to change things up here. Hembre right into the glove of Barnico, who holds up. And with 4.5 remaining, Stony Brook starting to reach a point where they got to be desperate.
I mean, the desperation play should have started at the beginning of this period, in my opinion, but when we're talking about goalie polling territory, that's coming up soon.
Yeah. Kormanek on the interception with Lewinsky in tow, but he's pushed up against the boards. Big sauce there into the corner. Kormanek able to get a hold of it. Kormanek almost dealt it there to Conlon, who takes a heavy run at Theo Hembre, and that is going to result in a penalty. And Conlon is irate.
I think they're calling both players.
Yeah. No vacancy in the penalty boxes this time.
They're calling both players, and the faceoff doesn't come all the way down. In fact, it actually stays in the offensive zone.
Guess they're trying to figure out something here.
There'll be two roughing on each side.
Huh. Well, right there, that tells the tale of how this night has gone for Stony Brook. A lot of frustration and anger, and
well, now it's an NYU power play as they pulled the NYU player out of the penalty box.
And this, surprisingly, with all the physicality that has taken place tonight, this is only going to be NYU's 4th power play of the night.
For Stony Brook, if you take out the 2 that they really shouldn't have taken, which is this one and the cheap shot and center ice, that's a 2-penalty game for the Seawolves.
It's true, yeah.
Which on paper is pretty good until you realize you let up 2 power play goals. And
Vezov couldn't get a hold of the possession there, as this will move the faceoff draw back in the other end. But yeah, as I mentioned before, if that hit doesn't tell the story about how this game has gone for Stony Brook, I don't know what else will. A lot of frustration on the end of the Seawolves, who came into this matchup feeling re-energized, motivated.
NYU here just looking to kill some clock.
NYU, on the other hand, has been playing opposite of what they did last night.
Yeah, I don't know what team showed up last night, but Jekyll and Hyde situation for sure.
Well, you know for a fact that long bus trip from Liberty to Stony Brook, it definitely wasn't quiet. It may have been quiet at first, but you definitely know Chris Garofalo instilled some type of enormous motivation in them for them to absolutely.
I'll be honest, I think once the team hits the bus, that weekend's over, you let it go. That's a lot of what you're going to be doing next is you're going to go to tape review. You're going to be loading up the ESPN Plus video on demand of that game and taking a look at what happened. But you're not talking about it on the bus.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
That's
not in the bus.
Probably the worst place to talk about it.
Yeah, in hindsight, yes. Chance in front, Malfetto denied by Cataldo, and there's another save accounted for by Chris Cataldo as, yes, we'll see what this brings for the Seawolves as the penalty box door is open for NYU once again, and this matches the number that Stony Brook had last Friday night. 8 power plays to NYU's 4 tonight.
And only 1 goal to show for it. I don't know if Stony Brook is looking to call a timeout here, or they're just strategically trying to delay the inevitable.
Well, you did mention before, there were mind games starting to show here.
This isn't Chris Garofalo's first season. For a side here, though, plenty of room.
Bess. This one gets coughed up. Wilkie taking the task in the neutral zone by Van de Zilver. And Stony Brook closing in on the 2-minute warning. They trail by 2 goals, and you have to wonder, when is Chris Garofalo going to bring in Scott Barnico for the extra attacker? Huge reverse check by Conlon on Wilkie. And here's Avezov trying to storm his way in. Conlon in the trailer, fires. Save made by Cataldo. A big body in front, and Wilkie may have helped out there. Avezov, cross in front. A chance from the top. Malfetto, kick save made. May have been blocked again yet by Wilkie.
The desperation play by the NYU defenseman to throw his open palm up against a defenseman's shot. That has to be the toughest play. That's a complete lack of thinking for your safety.
I don't know if I would call it lack of thinking or courageous with the way NYU, with everything NYU is
definitely
trying
courageous.
to do. But yeah. Pepe got tangled up there in the neutral zone as this one gets cleared down the other end.
But you catch a slapper in your bare hand, I'm telling you, you're not having a hand anymore.
Yep.
At least
Luckily,
not for 6 weeks.
Yep. Luckily, I was not at the receiving end of any of that in my playing days. This stays in play, but they're going to blow the whistle anyway.
Looks like it hit the stanchion. So
yeah.
It's a little half in, half out type situation.
So there's 50 seconds left here, and maybe too late to take a timeout, but
Stony Brook's going to take it anyway here.
Yep.
But for Stony Brook here, this is a lesson learned in proper preparation and not taking your opponent lightly. As this is not the first time this has happened in the Seawolves franchise. They've blown out teams, and then they've been on the receiving end of a complete shellacking. And this is not the one you want to lose.
Definitely not. And with time now at a disadvantage for Stony Brook, you just want to, well, obviously you want to finish, you want to play till the end of this game, but you don't want to do anything that's going to impact the next game for yourselves. We know this game has been very physical. We know there's been tempers and stuff, but the last thing you want is someone to miss the next contest. A big name player. You don't want them to get involved in extracurriculars in the end here, because you know something.
Speaking of next games, next weekend on the 18th, Jamestown University comes to play a visit for the Seawolves. They'll be here on the YouTube channel at 9 o'clock puck drop.
And wasn't it Jamestown who pulled off an upset a couple weeks back? Big save, Chris Cataldo.
I believe you're right.
The man of the night for NYU, and the man that has broken the hearts of everyone right here on Long Island.
And Stony Brook can't even get their netminder out. This one's looking like we're done here.
Svoboda almost connecting there. It's the final
18
seconds of this third period wind down.
Two, one, and that'll do it.
You win some, you lose some, but that's hockey for you. Stony Brook, after going on an all-out scoring rampage in Chelsea Piers on Friday nights, fall to Chris Cataldo and the NYU Violets at home on Saturday nights, 3-1. And Trevor, this was definitely, as you mentioned, a shocking performance from the Seawolves.
Shocking performance indeed, and one that I think in everybody's mind is forgettable, and one that I think they'll do their film session, and then they'll request the video to be deleted, and that's the last they'll see of it.
I think that's a good way to summarize how this matchup went.
But for the younger
Stony
players
Brook
in play here, and maybe there's some good nuggets here for the film review. And
well, definitely it's going to be good for a learning experience when you go head-to-head down the road the next time. But now it's just gearing up for the next matchup, which, as we alluded to before, Jamestown, similar to NYU, maybe a team that's very defiant and that can come here and catch Stony Brook off their heels, as the Seawolves salute the fans despite not going home with the W. And really, I think there's nothing really else to go over. We kind of summarized it best. This was not Stony Brook Seawolves hockey that we've usually been accustomed to, and now it's up for them to try to change things up when they go up against Jamestown on Saturday.
That's no slouch of an opponent coming in, and this is one where the team's going to really need to iron everything out in practice, get the team up and running up to where they need to be, and definitely up to standard, because tonight was not the standard. And after Jamestown, they have one game over in Drexel, over at the class of 1923 arena, and then to round out the season, they have a road trip to Delaware. So next week will be our last home broadcast for 2022.
Man.
Unfortunately, we'll be on assignment that day in New Jersey.
Man. So this is farewell.
So this will be my last.
So this is farewell
for the year.
for the pairing of us on Stony Brook Broadcasts in the year of 2022. But you'll be back here for 2023 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know. And I guess the lesson learned here is don't underestimate your opponent, regardless of the result you had the day before.
Yeah, and I think this is one where this will go one of two ways. You're gonna take a lot of learning points out of this, or this is one you chalk up to not our day and you walk away.
Well,
and it's I think for this one, it's unfortunately a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's time for us to pack things up and get set for bed, and then gear up for Jamestown on Saturday nights right here at the rinks. Mike Calandra, Trevor Magnani. So long, good night. See you soon.